Hello, friends. Today I'm going to meet you virtually, but we are going to learn a beautiful topic: how to improve communication skill. Long back, the question came into my mind: will I be able to communicate effectively one day? Do I have the required skill to communicate effectively? Well, at that time, I did not got the question. Even I did not find any mentor to tell me that yes, you can improve your communication skill. Today, I suppose we are on this digital platform are lucky enough to have a session on how to improve communication skill. Dear friends, I'm going to share how to improve your communication skill. This is an interactive session, so I request your participation with me throughout the session. Well, to introduce myself, I am Charanjit Singh Daryal. I am a skilled science trainer. Yes, you heard it right. Skill science trainer. Because science will give you logic, and behind every logic, there is a science. So, to improve your skill, I'll give you a science. So, I'm a skilled science trainer since last 5 years. I believe that every human being can communicate better than any other species on this earth. And I know that you are a human being, so be sure, and I'm very confident that you will be able to communicate effectively by going throughout this session. So, dear friends, let's go on for this session. Dear friends, before carrying out any mission, we should know what the mission is. So, today, our mission is to know communication better. Before starting the journey, you should know the road better. So, before effectively communicating, you should know what is communication. So, dear friends, communication is the act of conveying meanings. Yes, it's an act of conveying meanings from one person to another. How? Through the use of mutually understood signs and symbols. Hey, don't be afraid. These are just the words, and I'm going to throw light on each and bit of these words very easily in the coming slides. So let's go on to a tour how to communicate. It's a long journey. We have started our journey from the jungles and then to the rural areas and then to the cities. It's a friends. It started when we started living in colonies. We were hunting, we were then cultivating some kind of land into farms. We started coming close to each other, and when we started building our communities, we also took the friends and foes along with the people. When people start coming together, they start communicating to each other. But at that time, they did not know how. They didn't know how to talk to each other. And what does the words or the sound means? This was a very dynamic situation. So, when we just started using voice, we were not sure whether the other human being was able to understand it properly. Now, this situation was very grim, as whatever the other person was saying, we were not able to hear it very properly, or we may not be able to understand what he exactly meant for. So, communication was just throwing the words and receiving it on your ear. The brain took a lot of effort by not understanding, because it was not understanding it properly what the other person said. Then we just started using science. We smelled the ornaments, the tools, then we used the hand gesture just to understand what the other people were saying. But this was not enough. There was something we needed to know better. We started developing. We started developing tools. We started uprising ourselves. We started knowing the world better. But we were not able to talk to each other very communicatively, but then and slowly we started communicating. Yes, friends, we started communicating for the first time. Everybody in this world started talking to each other. Human is a social man, so he needs to talk to each other. But then every person thought, what am I talking about? Is the another person hearing this? To understand communication, we need to understand the elements of communication. The elements of communications are: the first element is the communicator. Communicator is the person who talks or who speaks or who sends the message what he wants to convey. Now, the second element is called message. Whatever we want to convey, the meaning of our words is called as a message. When we speak something, that speech is the words or the meaning behind the words is called a message. Let us say I just want to ask to you, what is your name? So, what is your name becomes a message. Let's take another example of message. If I want to ask the age of a person who is standing in front of me, I would ask him, what is your age? So, what is your age becomes message. Many times we convey our message through mobile phones. Whenever we hear a ringing sound of mobile phones and we pick up the call, we ask and say, hello, who is this? So, hello and who is this becomes the message. This message is very important. This message takes shape of any language, whether you say in Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Gujarati, Punjabi, French, Japanese, or any other language which is available in this world. If the both person understand English and if the message is in English, the person who is receiving this message is able to hear it and understand it. If I start speaking Tamil to you, it's become very hard if you do not know the Tamil language. These are called as language barriers. But today our main focus is to understand the process of communication. So the first element was communicator. The second element is the message which we have just understood. The third is very important element and that element is called as channel. Channel means the medium through which we talk. The medium can be oral when we speak in front of each other in face to face. So our voice becomes the channel or the air becomes the channel. The channel can be a mobile device, that is an electronic device. The channel, if not spoken by the word, if you are not giving the message through the mouth and you are writing the letter and giving it to the other person, the channel becomes a written channel. Emails can be used as one of the most fastest channel to pass on your message to the communicatee. I hope that you've understood the word called as channel. So channel can be in the face of air, mouth, mobile phones, emails, post, letters, applications, or signs and symbols. We are definitely going to see in detail about these channels because these are going to play a vital role in your life. The next element is called as communicatee. Communicatee, or you better know this word as receiver. The person who receives the message is called as receiver or communicatee. In this way, the communicator communicates with the communicatee through the message via channels. Once the message goes to the communicatee through the channel and he receives the message, he decodes the message and he understands in his brain. After analyzing the message, the communicatee gives the feedback to the communicator. Unless the communicatee do not give the feedback to the communicator, the of the process of communication is not considered to be complete. So the elements of communication are pretty much clearer. It starts with the communicator, it goes through a message, it reaches the communicator via channel, the communicator gives the feedback which again goes to the communicator. This is how a communication process ends, and also it is a continuous process. When the communicator receives the feedback, then he again reacts and now he becomes a communicatee. And then he again initiates a talk, and in this way he again becomes a communicator. Then again the message is sent via channel which is received by a communicatee, and in turn he again gives the feedback. This is how a fruitful communication begins. If there is no feedback, the communication is incomplete and the process of communication is not said to be a complete one. I hope that you are much clearer with the elements of communication. Well, friends, now we are going to see types of communication. We must understand there are various types of communication. The very first communication that we are going to see is verbal communication. Yes, friends, you have heard it right. Verbal communication. In verbal communication, we are going to see two types of communication. First one is oral communication, and the second one is written communication. Well, friends, when you hear the word called as oral, it simply suggests you that you are going to have a communication through your mouth. Now look at the person who is talking on the mobile phone. Now he is using a oral communication. Yes, this is now the fastest and the most used oral communication to communicate your message to the other person. When you see a picture of a man who is talking to the other fellow through his mouth, they are having an oral communication. Well, dear friends, we have not yet reached to a point where we are going to share or learn how to improve your oral communication. But in the coming slides, we will be able to understand how are we going to make our oral communication effective. There are certain rules of improving your oral communication. Whenever we are talking orally to another person, we must have the capability to listen also. Listening an also important part plays in communication process. You should allow the front person to communicate properly and you should hear it fully. You should not interrupt the person. Because if you are interrupting the person in his talks, then he gets demotivated or gets de interrupted. Sometimes he get hurt too, and he shows the sign of not getting interested in your communication further. So you must be very careful while talking to others. Whenever you are talking to others orally, please maintain a distance and you should not go physically close to the person beyond his private zone. That zone should be respected. Many of us tap shoulders on the other persons while talking. This is not a good gesture because the person who is listening to you may not like physical touching. So you should be very careful. Also, you should follow the traditions of the person to whom you are talking to. For example, when you are visiting abroad and you visit Japan, when you're communicating to a Japanese man, you are not allowed to hug him. Even when you are going to America and you're meeting an American person, you feel that Americans are free, but sorry to say, they only meet and hug each other when they are familiar to each other. They do not hug strangers. Please note that. So it's very important to know when you are being allowed and when you're not being allowed. For that, you need to have a thorough understanding of the culture of the front person. Whenever you are being called by a Japanese person for a tea, that means they are paying you the highest respect to you, and they are offering you tea, means they are celebrating that time with you. Also, they do not accept too loud voices, wherein the Brazilian people, they are free in nature. So for them, laughter is an another gesture of happiness. But for Americans, this happiness while you talk them with orally becomes a sign that you are insulting the person. So we had seen the oral verbal communication part. Now we'll move on to the written part, written verbal communication. Now we are using the letters to talk to each other. We are writing applications to our colleagues or bosses or to our subordinates. Then we are sending emails. This written communication is also an important part of communicating it verbally. Choose the correct words and sentences to convey your messages. Please be very careful. Before you communicate written, you should read whatever you are sending. Even a small mistake can leave you in a chaotic situation. For example, if you convey the message that I am on leave, and by mistake you are writing the spelling of leave as Live, and then you have written Leave, it's a graveyard mistake that you have committed to the person. You must use it very, very carefully. You must draft the written communication very properly. Understand, do not use ambiguous word to influence the person. You cannot impress the other person through your written communication by using ambiguous or flamboyant words. You can use easy English and simple sentences to construct and convey your message properly. Well, dear friends, now we are going to talk on non-verbal communication part. Well, dear friends, when we talked on the verbal communication part, that was important, but that was important only 15%. Yes, you heard it right. That holds only 15% importance as far as the effective communication is considered. Now you must be thinking, where is the another 85% part? Well, dear friends, this 85% part is being holded by this non-verbal communication, where you do not speak. Now you must be wondering, when I do not speak, how do I communicate? Well, dear friends, look at these pictures. In the first picture, in the second picture, in the third picture, fourth picture, fifth picture, sixth picture, seventh picture, and in the eighth picture, you must be feeling that the girl is showing her emotions. Yes, she is showing her emotions, but now she is communicating something through her non-verbal communication. Let us pay attention to the first picture. If you can carefully see, the girl is smiling. She is smiling mixed with shyness. That means that shows a respectful lady reacting to some jokes or some kind of happy moments. If you could see in this second slide, you must be thinking, oh no, again she is happy. But dear friends, in this, she is excited. She is excited with happiness. Something is going to come in her way, and she is definitely looking forward to this. Now let us move to the third slide where she is opening her mouth and looking to her left side. Now you must be guessing what she is doing, what she is communicating. Now, dear friends, just try to nag the signs and symbols through this non-verbal gesture used by the lady. She is surprised. She is communicating that she is astonished. She is surprised. She has been taken aback either by the deed of some person or actions of some person. Next, you see the lady pointing her fingers. Now, this is not to point in anger. She is not at all angry. There is a communication. Can you read this? Yes, friends. She is, you just got that right. She is having a confidence on her face and she is accepting a challenge with a confidence. That's what she is communicating. Next is you see again the girl pointing the finger, but now her mouth is open with a big laughter. What she is communicating? That she has finally found a joke on a person and she is happy with that. So look at the two differences. In one picture she is confident, in the another picture she is very happy, pointing towards some persons. Now next, the picture, she is putting both her hands on her face. She is putting her face like this and giving it a smile and looking upwards. This is something she is dreaming. If you can see the picture number 2 and the picture number 6, you find a major difference. See, to effectively communicate, you must know what the person is communicating non-verbally. In this, she is dreaming on something that is going to come in her way. So she's happy by the feeling that something is going to come in a way. That's why she is communicating her happiness that is stored for the future. Next, the slide of the lady who is holding her hands in the tightly to her chin. Now, can you guess what she is thinking? What she is supposed to communicate? Well, dear friends, she is anxious at this moment, but she do not want to reveal her anxiousness, but then she has closed her mouth. You should read between the lines. You should able to understand. Now here, this is a very interesting body language shown by this lady. She is anxious but do not want to show it. That's why she is closing her fist near to the chin. Next slide that you're going to see for the young lady is very easy. She is very happy and she is teasing someone. It may be a colleague, it may be a family members. So this is the way that sign have to be understood. Many of us get the wrong body language signal from the others or they interrupt it very wrongly. When they do it, they are not able to understand how to communicate. Say suppose the person is in a very awkward position and do not want to talk to you. Please understand the non-verbal communication played by the person. Sometimes the person do not want you to talk to him or her. So be very careful. Look out for the physical, non-verbal or body language of that person and that will definitely show you whether you should communicate to her or not. Sometimes the person wants someone to talk to. So you must understand the body language of a person. Now body language is itself a very big science. It has a logic because what we say has to be cross verified with the physical non-verbal or body language. Sometimes you are not happy but then you are saying, oh yeah, I'm happy, I'm happy. Don't you see that I'm happy? If someone says like this simply means he is annoyed or he is upset. If you ask someone what happens and then he says, I shrug his shoulder, nothing, and then he also raises his eyebrow, this kind of body language simply means he is upset. Now, if you ask a child and you ask him that, did you steal that bread from the shop? And if you say, no, I didn't do that, And while doing this, he shrugs his shoulder and also he is repeating the words 2 to 3 times. No, no. When you see this kind of approach from the child, you definitely come to know that he is lying, because you can lie with your words, but your body language do not support you. So your body language becomes a communicator to you. You must read the body language of a person. I hope you're finding this non-verbal, physical non-verbal body language very, very interesting. Well, these are just the 8 pictures that you should look onto. But dear friends, there are various gestures and you can learn it through experiences and by practicing it. Next is called as paralanguage. Well, this is another non-verbal type of communication. What is paralanguage? Well, dear friends, it is tone of one's voice. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Now use the word okay in various tones and you will come to know what I am talking about. Okay, 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 okay. See, I had used the word okay in various tones. So, communicating yourself through the tone is one of the non-verbal communication. You can see the boss speaking to his employee. He's shouting. He has opened his mouth. Come on! You can't do it like this. You are the baddest employee, the foolest one I am ever seeing. Go back to your work. Look at the tone. This person is absolutely shouting. We speak paralanguage when we gasp. This is gasping. We sigh. Clear our throat. uh, change our tone. Hey, hey, we whisper. Please, hey, you listen. Or shout, hey, don't you listen. Emphasize certain words. You can't do it. You can't do it. Emphasizing certain words. Waving your hands. You can't do it. You can't do it. Please do it. Yes, you can do it. Frown. I can't do it. I cannot. This is frowning or smile. Laugh. Cry. No way. String vocal identities like and aha between our words, or speak faster or slower. तू जल्दी से इसको कर. You do it very fast. You fast. Please come in, boy. Are you able to listen to me? So these are all the paralanguage tone of one's voice. So when do we speak paralanguage, we often do not understand or even sometimes notice that we use whenever someone says you, are you hungry? And when we don't want to say anything, we say, or if we are saying to him, not now. If we change the word, not now, please, I'm not feeling hungry. This is an appropriate gesture that you come to know about communicating effectively. My suggestion to you all is you can use these kind of paralanguage up to a certain limits. Otherwise, people will start feeling that, okay, he is using, is gasping, he's sighing, he's changing his tone, changing your tone according to the words you say. I'll give you with an example. If you want to say, you can do it, you can't say, you can do it. No, you can do it. You are using your hands along with the larger tone to give a motivation to the another person. So this is a non-verbal paralanguage tone of one's voice. Next comes the aesthetic part. That is again a part of or a type of non-verbal communication. Aesthetic. That means conveying the message or communicating through the art or paintings. Now look at the broken fingers, the cut fingers, and you can see a man chopping the tree with an axe. Do you find it very funny? Well, it is communicating that when you are cutting a tree, you are chopping your own fingers. You are making yourself a handicapped person. So the communication is very, very clear. Try to save the trees. Do not cut trees. Now look at the picture wherein you are seeing a Pokemon, a yellow colored cartoon figure, Pokemon. He is sitting on a saddle of a horse. But where's the horse? Oh no, there is a boy. He is putting a saddle on the boy's neck. So what does it communicate? Can you think on it? Well, dear friends, these kind of Pokemon games is running like a horse on your body. It is making you to run for the games. It is slaving you. That's the communication. Now look at the third picture, dear friends. The man is running behind the money. Even after collecting some kind of money, he is again running for money. He is running, running, running. His running never ends. And when in the third picture that you see, the man has become old. When he has collected the money, the life has ended. So these kind of non-verbal communication called as aesthetic, that is in the form of art or paintings, play a very, very vital role to communicate. Sometimes these are used by the artist to convey a meaning that cannot be conveyed simply by the words. I hope you are enjoying this session. And now comes the hottest topic of non-verbal communication, that is appearance. Look at the person, how well he has dressed. Now, if he says that I believe that the world can become happy in coming 2 years, would you believe it? Yes, I would certainly believe this person. If the young lady says, I can give employment to 1000 people in coming 3 years, would you believe it? Yes, we would definitely believe it. But have they said this word? No. It is just making an appearance. It's another kind of non-verbal communication. What is the non-verbal communication coming through the appearance? People start believing you. So you communicate loyalty, you communicate confidence, you communicate faith to the other person without even saying a word. So choose wisely how you dress. You cannot wear a casual dress on a very professional protocol. If you're attending a meeting, you cannot simply go into your shorts and trousers and casuals. You have to wear a physical, proper attire that makes sense. You cannot over ornament yourself. You have to be very professional. There are some professional attires and professional accessories which you have to use. For example, the shirt cuffing should be an half an inch ahead of your blazers. You should wear a matching tie. The color of your belt should be matching with the shoes. You should wear socks of proper and contrasting color. You should always comb your hair, apply a better dressing sense. Do not wear gaudy dresses that feel abrupt or will communicate you in a wrong way. Many people believe that overdressing into a very harsh color or gaudy colors makes sense. But sorry to say, this gives a very wrong message to the person who is looking at you. These are the pictures where you can see they are holding some placards. These are visual type of communication which are in the form of drawings or illustrations. See the first figure or the drawing. It's an illustration. Now you can see a person putting a coin in the backyard of a person who is supposed to be a doctor. Now what is he supposed to do? He is supposed to take care and do the treatment of the person. But the visual interpretation of this is he is not going to do his work unless he is being given money or unless he is being paid. So the patient have to be very careful that if they do not pay the money, they are not going to get the service of a doctor. Now look at the other picture. Someone is looking for Adam Moore. The lady is looking for Mr. Jackson. The other young lady is looking for Dr. Emma Wilson. And Mr. O.J. Gray is being looked up by the person who is holding his finger and rightly pointing. Maybe they are arrived at an airport and looking forward to the person they are supposed to meet. Now, what are these banners called as? These banners are called as illustrations or they are called as placards in a common lay language. So even these are the communication. Now what is the person in the specs, the young lady in the specs and the two persons are communicating? Well, they are looking for Adam Moore, Mr. Jackson, Dr. Emma Wilson and Miss O.J. Gray. So they're looking and they're asking that please see this placard and I am here to receive you. This is the simple communication that they're looking to. Now, what are the skills required to improve? Now, here comes the golden key that I'm going to give you today. Yes, dear friends, today I'm going to give you this golden keys. Now, the key number one is be an engaged listener. You should be listening to what others say. What do you mean by engaged listener? That means you have to be listening very, very carefully. Each and every word should be listened carefully. Next is pay attention to non-verbal signals. Dear friends, I have already given you the non-verbal signals. If somebody is laughing at you, that means something you have spoken inappropriate. Once I went to a meeting where a person introduced me and he started saying, "Let me introduce Mr. Charanjit Singh and she is a very good person. She is very much dedicated to her work and she is taking care of a science skill trainer since last 5 years." Listening to this, thus people started laughing. What went wrong with the person introducing me? Yes, he changed my gender and he did not pay attention to the non-verbal signals of the people and in this way he got a wrong attention of the people. People were not giving him a positive signal to listen to him ahead because he had made a mistake. Again, when he continued in the meeting, what he did is he started shouting and he did not understood that his voice is too much. The front row ladies were closing their ears. Even then, this non-verbal signal was not taken into consideration by the speaker. So very small things you have to keep in your mind when you are looking for any non-verbal signals. Whenever you speak to another person, you just see to it whether you are having a proper eye contact to him, whether there is a proper signal coming from the person that he is ready to hear to you. So that is more important. Whenever you speak, the third skill is be very clear and concise. When you speak very clearly and very precisely, concise means short. Do not exaggerate your statements. You should be very clear and concise when you talk. These are the first three skills that you need to improve your communication skill. Now, next skill is use a friendly tone. You might be hearing many calls receiving from the call centers. They do not use any harsh language. They always speak, "Good afternoon, sir. How do you do? How is your day, Mr. Emily?" So after listening this, you are able to entertain and you accept the call. They first ask you, am I talking to Mr. Charanjit Singh? Am I talking to Mr. Eminent? And then you say, yes, you're talking to. Then they say, well, good afternoon, sir. This is Mr. Raj talking from so and so company. Are you interested in listening to a protocol to this? Are you able to understand this? So this is using friendly tone. Always use a friendly tone. Be confident and smiling. See, there is no one who is perfect in this world. But then be confident and smile. That's take a lot of your fear outside. Your fear goes out when you are confident. And when you're confident, when you're smiling. So when you smile, you are confident. Again, express yourself. See, communication doesn't mean impressing others. According to me, when you express yourself, you automatically impress others. So this is the better way. Do not misguide yourself by impressing others, but simply express yourself, because the day when you start expressing yourself, you will start impressing others. This is the only way that you can improve your communication skill. The next things that comes your way is the first part, be positive. Yes, dear friends, nothing in this world is permanent except the change. So why worry? Be positive. Being positive is the most important key to communicate. We often feel shy and say that, okay, I am not feeling positive about this, and let's end up this communication, or I'm not a positive person. No, friends, remove this word and start using the word yes. Probably when you want to argue someone, be positive and say, I agree with you, and then add your point. Let's have an example. If you want to say, I'm not agreeing with you, do not say, I don't agree with you. Well, I have another point to add up to your point. I agree with you, but my friend, I have this point to address. This is the way that you can be positive. Next element of skill is believe in yourself. See, there is no better person than you. Even the God comes to you and say that if you do not believe in yourself, I can't help you. So please believe in yourself. That is the best key available in the market, and that's free. Then keep no place for fear. There is no place for fear. It's called as डर के आगे जीत है. I always say डर के आगे चरणजीत है. So you play an extra role in believing yourself and giving no place for fear. Way that you can always improve. Now you have some ways to improve the skills of communicating. Focus fully on the speaker. Whatever is he speaking, just listen, see to his body language, catch the non-verbal cues, see the body language, his appearance, the raising of his eyebrows, the winking of his eyes, the way he is gasping. Sometimes this is very important. Next is avoid interrupting. You should not interrupt the person when he is speaking. But then you would be asking me that if I do not interrupt him, I do not get a chance to speak. Well, friends, he is also a human being. Today I am going to give you the simplest and the smartest cue. When the person is talking, he gasps some air, he inhales some air, and he takes some time to inhale air. Like if I am speaking, okay, friends, today I am going to talk on a very important issue. When he inhales in the air, you have the right to interrupt him, and then you can start. These kind of techniques are used in group discussions when you are not getting any chance to use it. But most of the times, avoid interrupting. Listen fully, analyze the thing what he has said, make your point, and then communicate. Show interest in what's being said. You show the interest. If you do not show that you're not interested in what he is saying, then even he is not interested in what he is saying, because Newton's third law of action always say what you do you always get back. Next is provide feedback. This is very important. If you understand, then you can provide the feedback, and then only the communication gets completed. By providing the feedback, you get into the scene. That's very important. Use non-verbal signals that match up with your words. That is very, very important. You cannot say, for example, if I am using a non-verbal signal that do not match up my word, I do not agree. I do not agree. This is okay, but I say I do not agree. If I say yes, I agree with you, your words are not matching your non-verbal signals. Avoid body language which is negative. If you are using, these are called as negative body language. You try to avoid this. Next is using stalling tactics to give yourself time to think. Whenever someone says something to you, use this kind of techniques. Like you say, okay, yeah, yes, yes, very good. While using this stalling techniques, you get some time to think for the what he has said. Make one point and provide an example or supporting piece of information. This is very important. Whenever you speak, do not throw air in the castle. You have to make a point with an example. Deliver your words clearly. Whatever you are talking, talk very clearly. Look for humor in the situation. If you make a mistake while communicating, then you can always go, oh God, I'm not perfect. And this time I made a mistake, isn't it? Give it a very laughter. Look for humor in the situation. Value yourself. See, no one is going to devalue you unless you don't value yourself. So value yourself and your options. Express negative thoughts in a positive way. I've discussed it earlier also. Whenever you want to say something, just say, I do not agree with you. Don't say like this. Say, I agree with your point, but then I have another point to add it to this. May I add it? Certain ways where you can always use to use it. Wrap up with a summary and then stop. Whenever you are ending any communication, you should wrap it with a summary. So today what we had learned is how we communicate, how communication process began, how people communicated with each other without knowing how to communicate. Then we had seen the various type of communication, and then we had seen the types of communication and the skills required. Lastly, we see how to improve your communication skill. Well, dear friends, I suppose that has been long enough, but not that long enough. Thank you for listening to me. This is Charanjit Singh thanking you once again for such a wonderful time that you have spent with me. Hope to see you again. Have a good day ahead. Thank you.